Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. You're probably very surprised to see me doing anything on social media or Facebook this intimate. But when God tells you to do something, you have to do it. And God has been pushing me to share and tell my story about a topic that I don't feel gets enough discussion. As you can see, my comments I wrote was my topic being about married, divorced, and remarried. And the biggest thing I want to really just briefly talk about is the part of being divorced and people that have been through it or facing it realize that how traumatic it can be, how it affects so many parts of your life that you never probably even thought of. And my own story is that I went through divorce, and it was one of the most traumatic events that I ever been through. It was a time in my life where I felt hopeless, like my life just would never, ever, ever get back to being happy and being joyful. And it was a very, very dark time. One of the things that I felt in hindsight, now that I look back, of one of the issues that which probably led me to go through it so rough, was because there was not enough people that spoke about divorce, especially in the church, especially when you save, especially when both you save. They never talked about how divorce affects you or that divorce happens. And like I said, I know God hates divorce, but the enemy is busy, and he doesn't care what marriage or what family he breaks up. He's going to do it. He's going to do everything he can to break up that agreement, that relationship, that covenant. And so when I went through it, because I knew women that went through divorce, but they never talked about the process. They never talked about their emotions. They never talked about how it affected their children and how it affected their whole way of thinking. I felt alone. I felt like I was the only one that ever been through it, that because everybody else was still living their lives and doing good, even though they were divorced. I felt like I must have took it much different than everybody else, because I felt like I just couldn't get over it. And I was just so depressed. But because of that, because of not having people to talk about that process, prompted me to talk about my own story and to be very transparent about how I felt and how I got over it and some of the things I dealt with. And in hopes of encouraging someone that may feel like I felt. And so I want to first say that God hates divorce, and so do I. I have had many women that have come to me after they saw that I've gotten through it, because they see that, oh, she went through divorce and she's doing good, that they come to me because they're having issues in their marriage and they're considering, or they're contemplating, or they may just be going through divorce, and they ask me how I did it. And the very first thing I tell them is, if there is anything you can do in your marriage to save your marriage, you save your marriage, because divorce ain't it. God does not want us to divorce. And if there's a piece of something there, do what you need to do to save your marriage. So I'm not a fan. But unfortunately, it's happening. Some people have legitimate reasons why they should divorce. And so it is happening. But although they have reasons why to divorce, doesn't mean that the process of going through it is easy. It's very hard. You're severing a relationship that when you got married, you never thought there would be a separation. I never thought that I would have to plan of my future without this person. I never thought that I would have to see this person all the time, but couldn't communicate, couldn't go home with that person. That person may be with somebody else. And all those feelings and emotions attached to it. So I just want to say I'm not a fan, but it's happening. I also want to say that divorce is something that if you've never gone through it, you probably will never understand. It affects people differently. And some people really don't even know how to approach you when you're going through it. Some people don't even know what to say. But I do want to say that through it all, things will get better. It'll get better. It took me a very long time to get through it. It is not because of anything but my own self. And I'll share that because what I hope to do when God leads me is that there will be other videos and there will be women that need to hear something, and God will lead me to do more encouraging words just by, again, telling my stories and how I felt. I am not doing this video to shame anybody, to make anybody look bad. That is not the intent of this video. My whole purpose of this video, or these videos maybe, is to really just share my story and hopefully encourage somebody else. The need is there. The need is definitely there. There's just not enough people that's willing to be open about it. But I do want to do some future videos, and once God's give it to me, I will do it. But I do want to leave someone with this. You may be in a point, and this is not just for, may not be someone that just married. You could be in a bad breakup, because the feelings can be just the same. And not married yet or just in a relationship, the feelings are the same. But I can tell you that things will get better. I remember when I was going through, and one lady, she talked to me and she told me, she said, one day you're going to wake up and it's not going to hurt anymore. And while she was talking, in the back of my mind, I was like, that's never going to happen. I'm always going to be depressed. I'm always going to be sad. I'm always going to be brokenhearted. But I can tell you that she was right. Before, when I was going through it, I cried every day. I went to work to come home to cry. I cried myself to sleep. I didn't want to do anything. I was really, really depressed. But I cried, and my whole thinking throughout the whole day, every day, all I thought about was that relationship. It consumed my life, and I couldn't get my mind focused on anything else but that. But I'm gonna tell you now, it don't hurt anymore. And God has blessed me to be able to get past that, go through that process, because I went through. I didn't go over the process. I went through the process with every emotion: anger, sad, love, depressed, everything you could think of. I went through all of that till God got me to the point where it didn't hurt anymore. And now when I got to that point, God blessed me to be able to get remarried to a very, very good man that loves me a lot. And he's a good man too. But it took me some time to get there. It took me some time to resolve those feelings in that other relationship before I got to this point. But what I want to share with you is those feelings that I had from the time of the separation. Then get divorced. Once you get divorced, then I was single for 6, 7, 8 years to the time I got remarried. All of those emotions, all of those phases is what I want to talk about. And if you're going through it, let's talk. If it's somebody else that you know that may benefit, or you may know someone that's going through it, share my video, because I'm going to be very open about some things. Not to shame anyone, but just to talk about me and some of the things that I did wrong that I should have done better, that I want to share. Divorce makes you not only just the other person wrong, but it should make you do a self-evaluation on yourself, so that you can move on to that next relationship. Or even if you don't want to get into another relationship, some people don't want to get remarried, and I get it, but just that next phase of life. But hopefully, I can say something to that woman, to you out there, to encourage you, and to be continued. Stay tuned, because there will be other videos as the Lord leads. Just want to leave you with this. If you are going through, just remember this. You're going to wake up and it's not going to hurt no more. I promise you that. With God's help. Because that's the only way I got through it. Through God's help. You're going to wake up and it's not going to hurt anymore. All right. Have a good one. God bless. And you will see me soon. Bye.